Join Kids Hut family. Good morning, Tofu.
Good morning, Tia.
Are you all right, Tofu?
Yes, but I'm worried about my friend Sam.
Who is that? And why are you so worried about him?
Sam is new to our school. He joined my class last week. I like him very much. But some other boys have been lying about him, saying that he is not a nice boy.
Oh, that's bad. And are you sad because he is your friend?
Yes, I want people to see how good Sam is. And I don't know how to make it happen.
If Sam is a good person, then I don't think you have anything to worry about, Tofu.
I don't understand. Why?
Let me explain it to you with the story I know. The Princess and the Pea. Once upon a time, a young prince wanted to get married. So he went around the world looking for the right princess to marry. Alas, he found none. Something or the other was always amiss in all the princesses he met to be a true princess to his people. One stormy night, after the prince came back home, he and his family were having their dinner. When there was a commotion outside the castle door. The queen went to see what was going on. What is the matter, guard?
There is a young girl at the door, Your Highness. She says she is a princess.
Intrigued, the queen went to see the princess. When she got there, she was surprised to see a young girl drenched from head to toe.
Who are you?
I am a princess. I was passing through when the storm and lightning spooked the horses and they dragged my carriage into slush and mud. My men are still with the carriage trying to repair it. I have walked many miles to reach here.
Nobody who looked at the young girl could believe that she could ever be a princess. She didn't look anything like a princess. With her hair disheveled and clothes and shoes full of mud, she looked like a poor peasant girl. You are welcome to stay here, O princess. My maids will prepare a royal room and arrange for a hot bath and dry clothes for you. Do join us for supper once you feel better. Come on in.
Thank you very much, Your Highness.
By the time the queen returned to the dining table to join her family, the prince had been informed about the stranger at the door and the queen's decision.
Mother, do you really believe that she is a princess?
Her appearance betrays her, but her eyes shine with courage, and there is humility and grace in her behavior, just like that of a princess. However, we must wait till tomorrow morning to know whether she is really a princess or not. Saying so, the queen retired from the dinner table and went up to the room that was being prepared for the princess.
Your Highness, the princess is in the bath. We are preparing the bed for her.
Very well. Fetch me 20 of the softest mattresses that the castle has to offer.
Yes, Your Highness.
Once the maids had left, the queen took out a pea from her pocket and placed it right in the middle of the princess's bed. When the maids returned with the mattresses, she ordered them to place them on the top of the pea. That night, the princess slept on her special bed. But she had a sleepless night. She kept tossing and turning all night long. In the morning, she joined the queen for breakfast. How are you, my dear?
I am well, thank you.
But you look so tired. Is something wrong? You must tell me.
Forgive me, Your Highness. I do not wish to sound like an ungrateful guest, but I haven't slept all night. My bed was really soft, but something kept poking me in the back, and I had bruises all over.
The queen smiled happily because she knew that the girl in front of her was a true princess. Only a real princess who has lived all her life in comfort can feel a small pea kept 20 mattresses below her, and only a kind princess would not mention her discomfort unless asked to do so. Son, she is the one you have been looking for. Soon the prince was married to the princess of his dreams, and they happily lived in the kingdom where all the people loved and respected them both a lot.
Wow, Tia! No matter where the princess would have gone, people would have always recognized her because of her behavior.
Exactly, Tofu. And the same thing applies to your friend Sam. If he is a good person, soon people will be able to see that in him. And if he's not, people will be able to see that also.
Yes, you are right, Tia. I don't think I have to worry about him anymore. I am sure everyone will see his truth soon. Our gardener is so rude. I am never going to talk to him again.
Maybe you should try to be nicer to him, Tofu. Perhaps he has no friends and feels lonely.
Yes, he doesn't talk to anyone. Hence, he has no friends. Why would anyone talk to someone who doesn't talk to them?
That's not what Heidi did.
Who is Heidi?
Heidi. There lived a little girl called Heidi. She lived with her aunt in the village. Once it happened that Heidi's aunt had to go to the big city for work. She would be gone for a long time. So she decided to leave Heidi with her grandfather, who lived alone on the mountain. Heidi's grandfather, a carpenter named wasn't a friendly person because of some experience in his past. He didn't like to talk to anyone, and that is why he lived all the way up in the mountains. And now Heidi had to live with him. Bye-bye, Heidi. Be a good girl.
Bye, Auntie. Hello. My name is Heidi.
Heidi waited a while, hoping that her grandfather would talk to her. When she realized he wasn't going to, she decided not to disturb him, and instead she went out to see the mountainside. She had never seen such vast lands of green. She fell in love with her new home immediately. She lay down next to a bed of daffodils under the open sky and smiled to herself. That's when she heard the goats with bells around their neck.
Oh, hello. Where did you come from?
I brought them here to feed, like I do every day. Where did you come from?
Hello, my name is Heidi. I have come here to stay with my grandfather.
Hello, Heidi. My name is Peter. Old Grandpa is your grandfather? He often helps us with furniture and maintaining the barn. In turn, my grandmother bakes bread for him.
You live here with your grandma, is it? Can I meet her?
Yes, come with me. And so Heidi went with her new friend to his house to meet his grandmother. Peter's grandmother was very loving, and although she was blind, she loved to talk and cook. She was very happy when Peter told her about Heidi. Oh, that's wonderful. Come here, dear Heidi, and give me a hug. Are you hungry? Well, come, I will make you some special soup. Heidi spent the rest of the day at Peter's house and learned how to make special soup from his grandmother. Heidi asked her if, like Peter, she too could call her Granny, and she was delighted when she agreed. When it was evening, she said goodbye to them and went back to her grandfather's house. When she reached there, he was still working in his workshop. So Heidi went into the house. Sometime later, Heidi called out to him, "Dinner time, grandfather! Come, let's eat together." Old Arm looked up in surprise. No one had made dinner for him in decades. He closed his workshop for the day, washed up, and went to eat. Heidi had made the lovely soup she had learned from Granny. They ate in silence. And although her grandfather liked the soup very much, he didn't say anything. When dinner was done and the kitchen had been cleaned up, they both went out in the yard and sat under the stars quietly. After some time, Heidi started feeling sleepy, and so she kissed Arm goodnight and went to sleep. Arm had not experienced so much love in many years, and so he sat there with tears in his eyes for a long time. Next morning, by the time Heidi got up, her grandfather was already in his workshop. She decided to go and be with him. "Good morning, grandfather." Heidi knew she wouldn't get an answer, so she decided to make herself busy. She swept the workshop, filled fresh water in Arm's jar, and to surprise kissed him and went out to feed the hen. When it was about afternoon, she served a lunch of mashed potatoes which she had learnt to make from her aunt. Later, she went to Peter's house to spend time with Granny and returned in the evening to serve dinner. This went on for many days. Every morning and night, she would kiss her grandfather on the cheek and wish him. She would clean his workshop and fill fresh water in his jar. All this love and care that Heidi gave him changed Arm's behavior. He loved having Heidi around and enjoyed it very much when Peter and Granny came by to visit her. One day, upon Heidi's insistence, he even took her to the village. They bought a pair of shoes for Heidi. On the way back, they bought candy floss. Throughout the trip, Arm laughed and played with Heidi. All the villagers were surprised to see this change in the old carpenter. 2 years went by, and Heidi and Arm were very happy in each other's company. Till one day, Heidi's aunt returned. She wanted to take Heidi with her to the big city. The man whose office she worked in had a daughter, Clara, who couldn't walk. Clara always needed a wheelchair to go anywhere. Hence, she had no friends. Clara's father wanted Heidi to be Clara's friend. "Grandfather, tell her I do not wish to go. I want to live here with you." But Arm didn't say anything. He knew that Heidi would have a much better life in the big city. And so Heidi left her grandfather, Peter, Granny, and the mountainside to live in the big city. She was straight away taken to the mansion where Clara lived. There she met Clara's father. He was a very kind and loving gentleman who loved Clara very much, but often had to travel a lot for business. During these times, he left Clara in the care of her grandmother and a rather stern housekeeper.
Hello, Heidi. I am Clara's father. I wanted to thank you for coming here. I am sure you will like living here with Clara. If you ever need anything, please let me know. Now come, I will take you to Clara's room.
When they entered Clara's room, Heidi saw a beautiful girl, maybe 2 years elder to Heidi, sitting on a wheelchair. She was very pretty, but she was frail and seemed sad. The housekeeper pushed the wheelchair forward towards Heidi.
Clara, this is Heidi. She will live with us now. I will see you both in the evening now. Bye-bye.
Saying so, he and Heidi's aunt left to attend their business. For a while, Heidi didn't know what to say to Clara.
My friend Peter has many goats. Sometimes I can't make out whether he controls the goats or they control him.
Hearing this, Clara also broke into giggles, and Heidi immediately knew that they were going to be very good friends. She started spending her whole day with Clara. She would tell her many tales of the mountains, while Clara would tell her about the different cities she had stayed in after her mother had passed away. While the housekeeper was very stern and always stopped the girls from enjoying themselves too much, Clara's grandmother was very nice. She even taught Heidi how to read. Everybody who met Clara now noted how happy she looked. One day, the girls went out to the market. As Heidi pushed the wheelchair forward, she saw a vendor selling daffodils. She was immediately reminded of home, her grandfather, Peter, and Granny. When they came back from the market, Clara asked Heidi,
Wasn't today fun, Heidi? What do you think of my new bracelet? Yeah, it's lovely.
And so it went from that day. Heidi didn't want to play or sing with Clara, and she wouldn't read with Clara's grandmother. She wouldn't even eat unless was forced to. She would just keep doing her work quietly. She missed her home terribly, and her heart broke every time she looked out of the window and saw buildings and towers instead of mountains and sky. This went on till one day she felt terribly ill. Clara's father called the doctor right away. Well, I am afraid she is homesick. She misses home. No medicine or treatment can make her better unless she goes back. I will immediately make arrangements to send her home. True to his word, Clara's father made sure that Heidi was back in the mountain at her grandfather's house in 2 days. Just the news of going back home had made Heidi feel better. And when she reached her grandfather's home, she ran to him and hugged him. Even Am was very happy to have Heidi back.
I am never going away, Grandfather.
You don't have to.
Grandfather, this is Clara. She is my friend from the city. She has come to stay with us for a few days. And that is Clara's father.
As the two men shook hands, Peter came over. The children were very excited to see each other.
You must be Peter. Heidi has told me all about you. You must take me to your granny.
Yes. Come, I will push your chair. Granny would love to meet you. After some time, Clara's father said goodbye to everyone. He would come back in few weeks to take Clara back to the city. The children waved him goodbye. In the next few days, the children had a lot of fun. Peter and Heidi would take Clara along with them everywhere. Peter would pluck fresh fruits for them, and they even showed her how to milk a cow. With the good food, air, environment of the mountainside, Clara grew stronger. So much that she even learned to walk by herself. Soon it was time for Clara's father to come and take her away. When he came, she surprised him by walking up to his carriage. Oh, my darling, I am so happy. As they left, everybody was happy. There was no sadness in anyone's heart.
Bye-bye. I will visit you soon. I will too. Goodbye. Take care.
So you see, Tofu, when you are kind and loving towards someone, you can change their whole life.
Yes, dear. Thank you for teaching me this valuable lesson. Perhaps I will take some chocolates for the gardener.
Tofu, were you eating those cookies that Mum had asked you to have only after dinner?
No, Tia, I wasn't. I just came in the kitchen to drink water.
Tofu, do you know something? A lie is not fruitful.
How, Tia?
Come, I have a moral to teach you today. The boy who cried wolf. Once upon a time, there lived a shepherd boy who took care of the sheep in the village. He was very dedicated to his work. Every day, he used to take the herd of sheep to the top of the hill and bring them down by evening. But one day, he felt really bored.
I am feeling so bored. All the villagers work together, but here I am, all alone, taking care of the sheep and no one else to talk to. What should I do?
Suddenly, he had an idea, a wicked one. He went over the edge of the hill and started shouting,
Help! Help! There is a wolf! He is going to eat all our sheep! Help!
Hearing the boy cry out for help, all the villagers came to the top of the hill to save the sheep. But reaching there, all they could see were calm sheep grazing the grassland.
You silly boy, where is the wolf? Why did you cry out for help?
The villagers were very angry and left the place cursing the shepherd boy.
This was so much fun!
Next day, the shepherd boy was back again to the routine of taking the sheep for grazing. And yet again, he found himself completely bored.
Let's try that prank again!
The boy again went to the hilltop and started shouting.
Help! Help! There is a wolf! He's gonna eat all our sheep! Help!
Once again, the villagers, after hearing the boy cry out for help, ran to save the sheep. But once again came back after being fooled by the boy.
This is not right. You would have to pay for this one day.
With no regrets on his face, the shepherd boy went back to his sheep. One day, when he was lying under the tree while his sheep were grazing, he saw some sheep running here and there. After looking closely, he saw a wolf approaching the herd. The boy suddenly ran to the edge of the hill and started screaming for help.
Help! Help! There is a wolf for real this time! He's gonna eat all our sheep! Help! Please help!
This time, the villagers didn't pay any heed to the boy screaming.
Let's leave him. This time too he might be playing a prank on us.
The boy kept on crying for help, but no one turned up this time. All he could do was stand there and watch his sheep getting killed by the wolf.
Oh, I should have not played that prank with the villagers. Nobody believed me when the wolf actually turned up. What should I do now? I have lost all my sheep.
The shepherd boy was never trusted ever by anyone.
I am sorry, Tia. I did lie about those cookies, and now I learned a lesson too. Liars are not believed even when they speak the truth. I won't ever lie again.
Good, Tofu. You are a good boy.
Tia, may I please come in?
Hi, Tofu. Yeah, sure. Come in.
Are you okay, Tia? I heard you had a fight with your best friend really today.
Oh, thank you, Tofu, but I'm fine.
Really? Are you going to talk to her again? Aren't you mad at her?
Of course I will talk to her, Tofu. Really is my best friend.
Even now? After the fight? How can that be?
Let me tell you a story to help you understand. Once upon a time, there were two best friends, John and James. They had known each other all their lives. When it came time to look for a job, they decided to travel together as well. Their travels took them across a harsh desert. James, we have limited food and water, and we still have a lot of the desert left to cross. We should conserve our supplies. But I want water. You can have water, but just a little bit. We have to save it for the rest of the desert crossing. I don't care. I am sure we will find an oasis ahead somewhere. We can't be sure about it. We must save our food and water. Before they knew it, the two friends were wrestling each other for the water bottle. In the heat of the moment, John slapped James. Stunned by that, both friends stopped fighting and decided to keep walking on. Before moving on, James bent down and wrote on the sand. My best friend slapped me today. After a while, they came upon an oasis and were very happy. They refilled their bottles and took a bath in the water. However, James became careless and started to drown. John grabbed him and pulled him out of the water to safety. Thank you, my friend. I owe you my life. Don't worry about it. Let us rest for some time and then we will resume our journey. The two friends slept for some time. When they woke up and were ready to leave, James wrote something on a big stone. What are you writing, James? When you slapped me, I wrote in the sand that you slapped me. The winds would have blown that away by now. But when you saved my life, I wrote it on the stone so that nothing can erase it. Both friends became overwhelmed and hugged each other.
James chose to remember the good things about their friendship and forget the bad ones.
Correct. Hence, Riley and I won't stop being friends even after a fight as bad as today's. That is what you do in friendship, Tofu.
And in relationships too.
Yes, in relationships too. Let's go.
For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.